Hey there, my friend. Explosive news has come out in the last 24 hours, some of it not so good, but I'm sure it will greatly impact our team, helping us crush the Green Whiners next season. Today's news includes Rangers to make a player plus cash offer to tempt Hearts into selling Lawrence Shankland. Philippe Clement is not a fan of Todd Cantwell as a Rangers transfer twist emerges. Rangers to convince Plymouth on Morgan Whittaker's sale with a £10 million plus add-ons bid. Sheffield Wednesday, Preston North End, and Derby County Rangers winger. All right, mate, let's dive into this bit of transfer gossip with a cheeky spin. Rangers are scheming up a crafty plan to nab Hearts striker Lawrence Shankland, according to the Daily Record. Word is, we're looking to make a player plus cash offer to sweeten the deal. Shankland's been on our radar for ages, and with only 12 months left on his contract at Tynecastle, now's the time to pounce. But Hearts could still demand top dollar for him, which might mean Rangers needing to cough up around £3 million. As we were constantly linked with Shankland in the last transfer window, you can't help but wonder if things might have been different last season had we signed him, especially since we missed out on the Scottish Premiership to Celtic. Shankland was the top scorer in the Scottish Premiership last season with 24 goals, and at 28, he's in the prime of his career. While the old saying goes that defense wins titles, the fact is, goals do too, and we need some quality up front. Landing Shankland for around £3 million could be the game changer we need in our title bid. Quite frankly, it's a no-brainer. But, of course, nothing's ever simple with us, is it? We'll need to move some of our squad to make room for the Scotland striker and keep the accountants happy. Now, who could be heading out the door? Let's start with the big guns. Our skipper, James Tavernier, looks like a prime candidate. The Sunday Post, July 21st, reckons Trabzonspor and Steven Gerrard at Al Ettifaq are sniffing around him. Losing Tav would sting, but his sale could bring in some serious cash. Next up, Connor Goldson might be packing his bags. He's got Aris Limassol and Birmingham City on his tail. Football Scotland, July 22nd, mentions Birmingham would need him to take a pay cut, but if he finds the right club, Goldson could bring in enough dosh to help balance the books. Then there's Ioannis Hadji. Poor lad's not in Philippe Clement's plans, and Fiorentina's interest might turn into a tidy £3 million offer, according to the Daily Record, July 22nd. That cash would definitely boost our Shankland fund. These potential exits might be hard to swallow, but they could be the ticket to bringing in a top scorer like Shankland. Here's hoping we pull it off and give our squad the firepower it needs. Let's get into the latest on Todd Cantwell and Philippe Clement's apparent lack of enthusiasm for him. So, it looks like Todd Cantwell's days at Ibrox might be numbered. According to Stevie Clifford from Four Lads, speaking to Rangers Review on 22nd July, Clement isn't a fan of Cantwell. Clifford reckons it'd be a surprise if Cantwell sticks around beyond this summer, let alone has a long-term future with us. Since joining in January 2023, Cantwell has had his moments, but he's struggled to maintain consistent form. He's been in and out of the team under different managers and hasn't quite adapted to the Scottish Premiership's demands. It's a shame because the lad's got talent, but it just doesn't seem to click with what Clement's trying to do. Clifford said, "I would be surprised if Todd Cantwell had a long-term future at Rangers. I'd be surprised if Todd Cantwell survives past this window. It's quite obvious that the manager doesn't like him. I think it's quite obvious that even in little allocations that they've had, he's not his biggest fan. It's a shame. Todd Cantwell is a guy I like. He is a player I like, but he clearly doesn't fit into what Philippe Clement is trying to do." Cantwell's situation mirrors that of other potential exits like Connor Goldson and James Tavernier. We've already seen Kemar Roof, John Lundstrom, Borna Barisic, and Ryan Jack head out the door. Given the investment we made to bring Cantwell in, it's understandable that we'd want to recoup some of that fee. If he's not fitting into Clement's plans and struggling to meet expectations, it might be best for both sides if he moves on this summer. Let's chat about the latest on Morgan Whittaker and what it might take for Rangers to secure his signature. So here's the scoop. Rangers are eyeing up a £10 million plus add-ons bid to convince Plymouth Argyle to part with their star forward, Morgan Whittaker. Our initial £7 million bid was knocked back, but we're likely to come back with a second, more tempting offer. Whittaker had a cracking season, bagging 19 goals in the championship and earning Plymouth's Player of the Year. Carlton Palmer reckons there's a good chance we'll see Whittaker in a Rangers shirt if we up our bid to £10 million with some add-ons. Speaking to Football League World on 23rd July, Palmer said, "If Whittaker has made his feelings known, I would think an improved offer, say they came back with £10 million in add-ons. I think it's likely that we see Plymouth Argyle's Morgan Whittaker heading to Glasgow Rangers." Now this news must have Rangers fans buzzing. Philippe Clement is keen to bolster our attack, especially with Cyril Desires not hitting the mark. Whittaker seems to be our prime target, and if he's keen on the move to Scotland, as reported, there's not much point in Plymouth holding on to an unhappy player. Of course, Plymouth's boss, Wayne Rooney, wants to keep Whittaker unless a crazy bid comes in, according to Plymouth Live on 21st July. But if Whittaker is set on the move, it might just be a matter of time. To make this happen, we might need to raise some funds too. So, fingers crossed we can make this deal happen. Whittaker could be the boost our attack needs, and here's hoping Clement and the board can pull it off. Let's talk about Scott Wright and the interest he's stirring up from several clubs. It looks like Sheffield Wednesday, Preston North End, and Derby County are all sniffing around our winger Scott Wright this summer. According to Darren Whitcoop, the 26-year-old is set to leave Ibrox before the transfer window closes next month. Wright struggled to nail down a regular starting spot with us, making only 23 appearances in the Scottish Premiership last season and starting just 8 times. With his contract set to expire next year, it makes sense for Rangers to cash in now rather than risk losing him for nothing in 2025. Sheffield Wednesday, Preston, and Derby are keen, but they're not the only ones. There are some unnamed overseas clubs also in the mix. Sheffield Wednesday in particular have been busy this transfer window, bringing in players like Olaf Kabaki, Jan Valeri, and Nathaniel Chaloba. They've even been in talks with Wright's representatives, although no official bid has been made yet. The Owls are also chasing Brest's Karamoko Dembele, so they've got their hands full. Preston have made a couple of new additions, including Sam Greenwood and Stefan Tater Thordarson, while Derby has been active too, signing players like Ebu Adams and Jerry Yates. Despite Wright's inconsistent game time at Rangers, he's got quality experience, having competed for top prizes like the Premiership and the Europa League. Given he's in the last year of his contract, he could be a very affordable option for any championship side looking to boost their attacking options. So it'll be interesting to see where Wright ends up. With all this competition for his signature, he's got a few options to consider. Here's hoping we get a good deal for him and he finds the right fit to showcase his talents. Cheers.